Type conversion. Data type conversion. In Golang, sometimes we need to convert data types from one type to another. For example, we want to convert the data type in 32 to in 63, etc. Now, let's try performing data conversion. We create a variable named value32 with the data type in 32. Next, we create another variable named value64 and attempt to convert data from 32 to 64. Finally, we create a last variable and try to convert 64 to integer 16. We print the results to observe how integer conversion works. Next, we extract a character from a string to convert it to a string. We create a variable named name with the value lemon-code 21. We retrieve the character at index 0 with a new variable. Finally, we convert the variable e to a string, naming the new variable string. Exercises. Number 1. Declare an integer variable int var with a value of 42. Convert it to a float 64 variable float var. Print both variables. Number 2. Declare a string variable str_var with a numerical value like 123. Convert it to an integer variable int var. Print both variables. Number 3. Declare a float 64 variable float var with a value of 5.678. Convert it to an integer variable int var and then back to a float 64 variable new float var. Print all three variables. In task 1, we created a variable int var with the value 42. We then converted it to a float 64 by declaring a variable float var. Upon printing the variables, we observed that the integer value transformed into a float. Moving on to task 2. A variable named str_var was created with the string data type. The goal was to convert this string to an integer using a function like @wav. After the conversion, the results were printed to verify the success of the process. Finally, in task 3, a variable float var3 was initialized with a float value. We proceeded to convert it to an integer and then back to float 64. The printed results demonstrated the data transformation in accordance with the specified data types.